is time for reaction shots for the month of October.
Ha!
Time to get spooky.
Yeah.
Let's dive right in.
Yeah.
My voice cracked. Couldn't keep it up.
I just watched it. I literally just watched it again. I mean, I've seen it before, but I watched it again to refresh my memory. Not 1 hour ago did it complete. And I've been I went to get food and I realized I was just walking around in real life just going to myself, and I was like, people must think I'm a freak.
It is perfect. It's a perfect song to raise tension.
It's a lovely fall day out right now too in LA. We don't really get fall, but it's kind of there's a chill in the breeze.
Chill in the breeze, little orange tint.
Yeah,
Love
perfect.
it. Let's before we get into it.
Yeah.
What have you been watching lately?
Heyo.
One of my favorite bits of reaction shots.
Same core.
I haven't watched too many things myself, so I'm really quick. Last night, sometimes you get in a mood. Sometimes you gotta just watch Rudy.
Not what I expected you to say.
So last
Get
night,
this. I've never seen Rudy.
Rudy is a must. It's a must-see, even if you don't like football.
Which I don't really.
It's just the perfect story of commitment, drive, perseverance.
I've heard it's great.
Chasing your dream. It's a movie I try to watch every few years for motivation.
Is it sad, though?
There are sad parts for sure.
Okay,
yeah, some parts are sad. I cry because I'm sad sometimes, and I cry because I'm happy. Okay. So it's one of those movies.
In general or just during Rudy?
In general. But
in
the movie.
Sports movies I like are I like Field of Dreams.
Yes.
League of Their Own.
Oh, League of Their Own.
The Sandlot.
Ah.
Coincidentally, all baseball movies.
Yeah.
Space Jam.
What about, Ian?
Space Jam is absurd.
Have you seen Major League?
Oh, yeah.
That's my number
That's the joke one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's maybe my favorite comedy of all time.
Oh, yeah. It's really funny.
Perfection.
I mean, I haven't seen it since I was 12 probably, but.
Yeah. Has my favorite joke of all time. It's just I really cheesy jokes.
Yeah.
The pitcher throws a ball to the backstop, 20 feet away from the plate, and the announcer is just just a bit outside. It's so far. It's my favorite joke ever in a movie.
I like humor like that. Just a bit outside.
Other than that, Better Call Saul, but we're going to be doing a spoiler mode on that next week. So
you
stay
and Kyle,
tuned.
right?
Yeah, Kyle and I.
I saw season 1 and I liked it. It was a slow burn, but I liked it. And then you guys have been raving about it since, and I should go back and watch it because I love Breaking Bad.
Just binge it, Ian.
Yeah.
Once you get into season 2, it just goes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have the faith. The Vince Gilligan cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Or televisionatic universe. How do you conjugate? I guess it would just be the televisual universe,
or the Breaking Bad universe.
Yeah.
I don't know. The
BBU.
Walter White universe.
Well, now it's the
Saul
Goodman universe. Jimmy, what's his real
Jimmy
last
McGill.
name? Jimmy McGill. Do we ever hear Jimmy McGill in Breaking Bad? Do they say that name? They must. Because I remember he tells Walter White that Saul Goodman is a fake name.
Yeah. Dude.
I don't remember. I think they do. I think
probably do.
I think they do.
Let us know.
Let us know. With episode number and timestamp, please. I'm just kidding. Anyway, what else have you seen?
That's honestly I think that's pretty much it. Lately,
okay.
Yeah.
I saw
nothing that immediately comes to mind. Yeah.
Let me think. I saw. Well, I've started the new season of Good Place is back.
Okay, yeah, I started watching.
I'm one episode behind. One episode behind.
Yeah.
I think. It gets a little confusing when they do the double episode premieres because I'm like, okay, is that episodes 1 and 2 technically, or is it just a one?
Yeah.
Whatever. But I like Good Place a lot.
So good.
I feel like I was watching something else. I watched American Horror Story Coven.
How is that?
It's American Horror. I think I said this before. It's American Horror Story, so it tops out at a 6.
Okay.
But it's a fun 6.
What about season 1? I heard
Season one is my favorite. Season
okay.
one is like legit pretty good.
I've still never seen American Horror Story.
You have to be there for the camp.
Yeah.
It's like there's American Horror Story has like a weird flavor of just kind of like I can't even put my finger on it. It's like it's sort of camp, but without being campy.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. It has a very weird feel.
Okay.
It's rarely ever scary.
Okay.
It's kind of just like it's pulpy, I guess. It's like sexy and pulpy, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like I hated season 2. Coven, the first episode is real bad, and then it gets like okay thereafter, and then it kind of just stops. It's a weird show, man. But I guess the current season, which I haven't started yet, but I guess it directly references the rest of the seasons, but mostly seasons 1 and Coven, whatever Coven was, 3 or 4.
It's the hotness, man. The
Yeah.
MCU style.
Yeah.
Like,
Apparently it's been planned since the beginning.
So they say.
Yeah, well.
Interesting.
But I saw Venom.
Here's the headline I read, Ian, before you get into it.
Yeah.
Audience score soars
Yeah.
for Venom.
Mm-hmm.
People are loving it. Critics are hating it. What's
Yeah.
going on? Fill us
in.
in.
It's making a lot of money. Here's the deal. Like, it was funny because that experience was personified in the theater that I saw it in because my friend and I were sitting. So it was a small theater. They had a bunch of showings, but we ended up in a small one at the ArcLight. But we were like, front of the back third, where you want to watch all movies in the theater, by the way. That's where you want to watch them all.
Yep.
But there was a dude up in like the front part, and then a dude like 3 rows behind us, and they were both having the time of their lives. They were clapping. They were going like, "Oh shit!" Like, "Oh damn!" And like, which is uncharacteristic of the ArcLight,
Very.
first of all.
Yeah.
But which is fine. Like at first I was like annoyed, and then I was like, "It's Venom. Like this is what we're here for. Like, come on."
Did they have popcorn?
I don't know. I didn't really see them, but yeah, and of course my friend and I were like, this is not very good. And like watching the movie, it felt like there was 20, 30, 40 minutes missing from the middle of the movie. And I found out later that apparently that's what happened. They like cut a bunch of it out. And so things were paying off in the third act that just like were never really set up. Yeah. Stuff doesn't really hold together. So like what I attribute the disparity of the scores in is like formally, like filmmaking wise, it is very, very, very bad. Like the editing is bad. The direction isn't super great.
Action?
The cinematography is not good, really. It seems like they didn't have a huge budget and that there were
it was $100 million.
Yeah,
so which is kind of small
for this. For this, I mean, that's an astronomical amount of money, but
Yeah.
for like one of these, yeah. But I mean, it's already made its money back. But like, it felt like there were like you're watching this movie and it feels like there were definite production issues. Like it felt like they didn't have coverage a lot of the time. There's a car chase where they kept it felt like a bad 90s movie sort of. Like they kept cutting back except with faster pacing. But they kept cutting back. There's one scene where there's a car chase. They're chasing Eddie Brock on a motorcycle. It's like these goons from the whatever company that are chasing him. And they cut back to the sort of villain. He doesn't really do anything. But and they cut back to him like 4 times going like, "Don't lose him." Or like get him, find him, or like I think he says don't lose him like 3 or 4 times. It's like weird, like twice, and it's weird because it's so unnecessary that it becomes glaringly obvious that like the car chase just wasn't shot well enough that they had to cut away to make like things make sense in space and time or something. Like that kind of stuff is all over the fights between whoever and whoever. I was just trying not to spoil anything, but like there's really quick cut. It's like Kingsglaive, where it's like lots of quick cuts, so it's visually kind of just messy. But all that said, like it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
On the whole, like I didn't like hate it, but I'm not usually the kind of person who like goes to a thing and then comes out angry. You know, I'm just like, wow, that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Now I go home. Like I knew it wasn't going to be good.
You were
right.
there, like...
I showed up. I got what I paid for, and I went home. You know, but you know, so it's definitely not good. But if you go in just wanting to see like, you know, 16 minutes of Venom doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
you'll see 4 minutes of Venom doing cool stuff, and then you'll be like, okay, whatever.
Tom Hardy, good.
Tom Hardy is so bizarre in this movie
That's
that
what
it
I'm there
makes it
for.
kind of fun. Like,
Yeah.
because his voice and performance is weird, sort of inconsistent, but like he made a choice, dude, and he
Yeah.
is sticking to
I
that
love
choice.
that.
He's like, I'm Eddie Brock. I'm a reporter for basically Vice. There are so many things in this movie that make no sense. Where it's like, this is very early in the movie, but it's like, they establish Eddie Brock is this like badass like. His persona, he's like the bad boy reporter where he always investigates and sticks his nose in and like gets the real tea, gets
Yeah.
the dirt.
Yeah.
And then his boss, like directly after showing us all this footage of him being like this badass reporter, his boss is like, okay, I need you to go and do a puff piece of this millionaire guy who runs this company because they're trying to bolster support for the Life Foundation after this shuttle crash that like screwed everything up. And then he just wants, and we got to, and like top brass at the company wants to just do a puff piece, so don't start any stuff, don't do anything crazy. And then it like cuts to Eddie Brock, and just like looking at him, it's like, boss dude, like you picked the wrong guy. Like, and
why
he's
is
like,
Eddie on
yeah, he's
this?
like, top brass wants it to be you. And I'm like, top brass is a bunch of idiots. Like, you're an idiot. Top brass is a bunch of idiots.
If you want
like,
some puff piece,
right,
get
don't
an intern.
right, don't send in your loose cannon because he's gonna be a loose cannon. And then Eddie Brock even says, I can't do that. This guy is corrupt. I'm gonna call him on it. And the guy's like, don't you do that. And he's like, and then like he's like, I'm gonna do that. And then the guy's like, don't you do it. And then he goes and he does it. And then like he gets fired, and it's just like,
What?
but I'm like, that's not on Eddie Brock. That's on you.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
That's so good.
It's just such a dumb like
Oh.
movie setup for like his life to fall apart. But like the weird thing is because then after that he's like a schlubby loser. But before that, he seemed like a schlubby loser too.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Venom has one really hilarious line in it, though. I won't spoil it, but
Turd in the wind.
no, that one I don't like. But
Yeah, it's
that's like the end of the movie, by the way. That scene from the trailer, like it doesn't matter. It's inconsequential, but that's like
Yeah.
literally like a minute from the end of the movie.
oh my god.
I'll just say it. If you don't want to hear it, just plug your ears for a second. There's a part where Venom says, on my planet, I was sort of a loser like you too, Eddie, or whatever, something like that. He's just like, I'm a loser too.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So it's just like, that's
Hug it out.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Venom was weird. I don't know. It was Venom. It was fun.
Big
Whatever.
dumb fun.
Yeah, big dumb fun. Yeah, big dumb like kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chill.
It's not like Jurassic World where I was like, this
feel-
is bad, but I'm having fun.
Yeah.
It was like, this is bad, and I'm like not hating myself for coming.
Is it better than Batman v Superman and Justice League?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like almost coherent and watchable.
Excellent. Anything else?
Oh, jeez. Probably, but I can't think of anything right now. Oh, I watched Maniac, but we did spoiler mode on that, so
Spoiler mode. Check it out.
check it out. Patreon exclusive. show.
$1.
$1 and up.
Just a buck.
Anything.
All right.
Hit me up.
Next up, we're talking about horror. We're getting into it.
Nice.
Halloween the holiday and Halloween the 2018 film
Yeah.
are right around the corner.
Dude, I didn't realize it's like straight up the 40th anniversary
Yeah.
of the film Halloween.
Yeah.
Came out in
love that it's
1978.
and I love that it's just called Halloween again.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's intentional.
I'm so ready for it.
I don't know what day it came out in 1978, but
It should have come
40
out on
years.
Halloween. Anytime a Halloween thing doesn't come out on Halloween or like
this
a
one comes
the
out on October
13th
19th.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it offends me.
Yeah.
Push it back. Halloween night.
Halloween falls in a weird time of the week. This
Saturday. So you have the
Oh, it comes out on a Saturday. Yeah, no, that's perfect.
yeah.
Maybe they have like the numbers where they're like, we do better if we come out just before.
I bet. Yeah, way better.
Because actually, that's probably true because holidays are a weird thing where it's like once the holiday's done, everyone moves on.
Yeah,
It's like it's Thanksgiving now.
You got to capitalize on the fever of it.
Yeah, people are hyped before Halloween, not after.
So Ian and I watched the original. Should I have posted that in the questions? This is my first time hosting, so we're
You're
flying
doing great so far.
Flying loose.
Yeah.
Should I have said that was the homework? I think we said it last time.
Yeah, we
actually.
probably said it.
Anyway,
You said I think you just yelled slashers.
slashers.
You were just like slashers. I'm hosting it.
Slashers. So one of the questions, what is your favorite horror film? Dominic Brown gets right into it with Halloween, so I wanted to start there.
Nah.
My favorite horror film to date is Halloween. Sure, everyone knows it's cliches now, but it ruined me as a kid. Before Halloween got supernatural, it had this unsettling realism. Michael Myers never ran. He sauntered his way into the locales, allowing his prey to be backed into a corner so that he could calmly stab them to death with a weapon that is commonplace in any home.
Yeah.
In fact, all but one death on screen was with the legendary kitchen knife. He killed a dog. A dog! The original film remained consistent throughout, and the body count wasn't too high to be outrageous.
Yeah, it's like 5.
To this day, as an adult,
Well,
I am
6.
terrified of the dark.
Yeah.
A lot of good points there, Dominic.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. He kills his sister with the knife. He off-screen kills 1 or 2 people in a truck on the side of a road.
Yep.
Who have the same matchbook as the nurse. Not really clear why that plot point is there.
Did he drop the matchbook?
No, because the nurse that Dr. Loomis drove to the place with had that matchbook.
Yeah.
It's weird. I was like, what is this matchbook plot?
Yeah.
Maybe she was in that car too, but then it's like a Freddie Mercury looking guy in the weeds.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Then he kills Annie, Bob, Linda. He strangles with a phone cord.
Dude, Linda, why are you playing a joke?
Yeah. She thinks she's just getting laid while she's calling her. Yeah. And then that's it, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 kills.
5 or 6 kills. Modest body count.
Yeah.
For such a terrorizing maniac. But,
we got to count the dog.
Count the dog. Yeah.
2 dogs, because off-screen kills, we don't see the corpse, but Dr. Loomis and the sheriff are like, who would do this to a dog? Maybe it was a skunk. Weird choice for a predator animal. Is a skunk even a predator animal?
Yeah, can a
skunk kill a dog? Skunk v. dog, I think dog would win. Although dogs don't like getting sprayed in the face. I don't know.
Defense.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about this movie is the way that he just stalks Jamie Lee Curtis and stalks people.
Mostly just because she drops a key under the mat of the Myers house.
Yeah, so she's like guilty by association at this point, or
of what? I think he just sees her and becomes obsessed, right?
Yeah, and then he kind of mentioned the supernatural, going on later in the series, and then they establish like they're related in the later Halloweens.
Wait, Jamie Lee
Curtis or something? They like establish some.
Lori is her name.
Yeah,
I don't remember her last name.
Some like half brother or sister, unless I'm making that up.
Weird. I mean, that sounds like something that would happen.
Some weird connections.
He
later on.
upends his mom or his sister's grave and leaves it on the bed.
That part was
with
insane.
Annie's corpse. I'm just like, what?
Like, how'd you set that up?
It's crazy.
But I also love that he is wandering around in the daytime with the mask, stalking. Also, just this anticipation.
It's such a weird. I was saying earlier, like when I was watching it, I was like, it's really weird that this like, who became later like this supernatural monstrosity, but like, just drives around in a station wagon for 90% of this movie. He's just in a car.
Yeah.
He's just a dude.
Yeah,
basically a dude who gets like stabbed 5 times and shot 6 times and then doesn't die. So I mean, like, there's a little bit of supernatural stuff.
Question is, was he wearing a vest?
Oh,
did he have that foresight?
That's the funny thing, because the doctor is constantly like, which is weird because he's like, he hasn't spoken a single word in 15 years, and yet I am certain of all of these facts about this guy and all of his life. And I'm like, what kind of doctor are you?
It's the eyes.
Yeah, he got it all in his eyes. He's like, but the doctor says he has no reason, no conscience, just pure evil.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's kind of freaky because Michael Myers actually shows incredible reason and a lot of foresight because he's blocking doors with rakes. He's driving around. He's following people. He's planning things out. He's like picking people off while they're alone just to like mess with Laurie. That's what's kind of scary about him is he's thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love
it's a
it.
weird movie.
Yeah. Love the music, the soundtrack.
Obviously.
Love the nod to The Thing.
Yeah. The original thing, not even Carpenter's own thing.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it's the 50s thing.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because when did he make
This was
the other
78,
thing?
then Thing was 80.
Thing was 80,
something.
80
Yeah.
something, yeah.
Oh,
So
that's so cool.
He remade Thing after that, and it's the 50s thing that's in this, yeah.
It's like in Following, Christopher Nolan's Following, the character has a Batman sticker on his door.
Oh, really?
It's like,
That's funny.
later on. Very cool.
He knew. Nolan knew.
I'm sure Halloween will get brought up again, but did you enjoy it? Do you think it holds up? And what did you think about the ending where Loomis comes to eventually save the day?
I mean, kind of like Dominic said, like it's a movie from 40 years ago, and someone seeing it now without like that kind of knowledge obviously would probably hate this movie. They would say it's really slow and that it's cliche and that it's not, because it's not scary. Like now, I remember being so scared when she looks out the window and he's standing in the sheets. But I was like, as a kid, I was horrified by that.
Yeah.
And now watching it again, like obviously I was just like, oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
There's like a coziness to this movie almost.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I always talk about that.
Yeah.
Like this kind of movie is sort of like more cozy than spooky, but
because they like wrap you in
Right.
the spirit of Halloween, the living room, the kids just watching TV is
Yeah.
this constant like comfort, like them just watching TV, the mood lighting, they're just having popcorn. They make the environment really cozy.
Yeah.
Before Michael Myers comes
Yeah.
in and disrupts.
And it's funny that because I haven't seen it in years and years, but every shot, the houses, the road, the couch, I'm like, I remember all of this. It's like just in my brain.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, obviously it's a classic. I really love it. And like Dominic said, these cliches, they're cliches because this movie did it early, if not first. And like, it became this thing over and over again. Like in, is it Scary Movie? Yeah, I think Scary Movie, where, because it is funny, you think about it like, realistically, Michael Myers she would be looking out the window and see him. She would look away, and then Michael Myers would just run away.
Behind the bush.
Yeah, hide behind a
Was
bush.
like almost comical.
Yeah. It's like if you put like like Elephant Walk or whatever under this movie, it would be a comedy. Yeah. It's all just atmosphere, But no, yeah. I mean, this movie's a classic. It's
Loomis coming in to save the day.
Yeah. That is weird. I forgot that he's
too.
the one who like got the kill, quote
been
unquote. He
so
doesn't
long.
actually kill him, I guess, because he
Yeah.
gets away. But the heavy breathing at the end over the soundtrack with all the shots of the houses, super ominous, really good.
Yeah.
But it is sort of weird. This like white knight shows up and just kind of blasts him, and then. But it is cool that Laurie is just so traumatized, and she's like there, and but she fought back always. She never just gave in. And like this movie, I think will be the culmination of that, the extension of that, the 2018. But it is like
Fighting back.
Dr. Loomis is a trash doctor. Like you have someone who's here victimized and just like really in a tough spot, and you're a psychiatrist presumably, or a psychologist, and it's like he just ignores her. He's just like looking out the window. Like,
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he's so unhinged, but
he is unhinged.
dude, what if
You know what I did love?
Dr.
Oh, go ahead.
Loomis is Michael in the new one?
That'd be nuts. I'll tell you what I loved, Ian, was the cliche of the police officer, okay? There's always the reluctant police officer that doesn't believe anything. Our town is fine. Nothing's going to happen. This is bullshit. I loved that the cop had that attitude, but
still did
followed
it.
through,
Yeah,
dude. I loved that.
That's the weird thing with this movie is a lot of the bad cliches that are in lesser horror movies,
Yeah.
this movie actually doesn't really do because like people do I mean, obviously there's a little bit of horror film logic where people are like walking around or whatever. But I mean, like, you walk around in real life. You're not afraid for no reason in real life. You go outside to do the laundry. I mean, people just taking their clothes off randomly is like, all right, you would go in the bathroom. You would go in the bathroom to take, if you spilled hot butter on your clothes, you would go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But like by and large, like Lori especially behaves like a human being would behave. The cop is like, our town is fine, but still follows through on intelligence. Like, yeah, you're totally right. I really like that about this.
All right, moving on from Halloween. I just love going over people's favorite horror films.
Oh,
the ones they're attached to. Jay Drysdale, American Werewolf in London.
I haven't seen that one.
All-time favorite horror movie. I watched it when I was 11 and have been obsessed with it ever since. Wanted to give that a shout out.
Shout out
For American Werewolf. Just the effects are iconic.
Yeah, I mean,
legendary.
I've seen that scene where he's just like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
And
So
that's
good.
That's what I love. You know, part of my obsession with horror comes from being in the moment, right? Being scared shitless, out of control, fully tuning everything out except what's happening in front of me.
Yeah.
But then also retreating back for a moment and thinking of the craft. Thinking of the people that put those effects together. You know, I always think of Guillermo del Toro just smiling about it all. You know, he's just like, look at this scary guy. This scares me. Just
weird.
smiling about it. Like,
Yeah.
I just love that. So good. Do you have any favorite effects?
Oh, well,
Horror
I mean,
effects.
The Thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
of
like,
course.
pretty much can't be topped.
Yeah.
Alien has some really good ones. You know, suspense, sci-fi horror. I really like one of my favorite. This is pretty weird, but one of my favorite effects in movies, like, I think it's cool and scary and wild and nuts when someone is like just brutally like eviscerating somebody, like a victim or whatever, and then the blood is just continuously splashing up onto their face.
Yeah.
I think that's so deranged.
Yeah.
Mandy recently really did a good shot like that, was just like,
The only thing I've seen from that
Blood.
movie, Ian, is Nick Cage covered in blood.
oh yeah, that Mandy is awesome. Mandy is so nuts.
I gotta see
But like American Psycho has a good one of that. I mean, obviously They Live and or not They Live, but Dead Alive.
Dead Alive.
Where with the like
Oh my God.
that
The
like
lawnmower.
takes it to like the
Yeah.
nth degree, you know. But yeah, I'm a weird sucker for that kind of shot.
Yeah.
I
Dead
actually did one of
Alive.
those in an early project of mine where someone was like drilling someone and blood was just like good.
Something about a drill, dude.
Oh
freaks me
God, Maniac
out.
has a good drill kill in it. We got a
Fly.
fly in here. We got the Fly, dude.
The Fly.
The Fly.
The effects.
Oh my God.
Top
I've never
tier.
seen the OG Fly, but I love Cronenberg's Fly. It's one of my favorite movies.
So the original black and white Fly, when you see it's pretty, like, dude's clearly wearing a helmet for a fly head. I don't care because it gives me nightmares, dude.
Yeah.
It haunts
it's
me.
freaky.
I can't handle it. Like, Google image or like 1950s probably.
Yeah, I think so.
The Fly. Oh God.
Dude, speaking of the 50s, OG original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Have you ever
Yes.
seen that? So
Not
good.
the original. I've seen the 80s one.
Oh, with
Sutherland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that one too.
70s or 80s.
I mean, both of them are really good.
Body Snatchers.
Yeah, oh God, Body Snatchers is so good. Like at the end of the 50s one, I think I'm thinking of the right one. He like runs up to the camera and he's just screaming and he's losing his mind. And he's like, they're all here. They're all of them. It's everybody or whatever. Like, I can't remember what he's saying, but it's such a cool moment.
So terrifying.
I remember the studio forced the director to put like bookends on the movie, like a framing narrative.
Whoa.
Because they thought it was like too intense or something, so they had to like be like, we got to diffuse this because everyone's gonna think everyone's a pod person.
Yeah.
So they had, and he was like, fine.
Studio
I can't remember who directed
compromises.
it. Yeah,
Wasn't it like Friedkin or something?
that's
like
that's the
70s one.
the
right?
70s one I believe
Yeah.
is William Friedkin.
God, so good.
The Exorcist. Ugh.
Here's a relevant one that is sliding under the radar, by the way. Tyler Travis. One of my favorites is Suspiria.
I love Suspiria.
The remake is
Is it out? It's not out yet.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's
Creeping
coming.
up.
I might actually see this one in the theaters. I'm usually too
Got to.
afraid to see horror in the theaters
Yeah.
because I'm such a scaredy cat.
You're going Halloween though, right?
Well, I'll be home during Halloween, so I don't know.
Okay.
But like I'll be like 30 minutes from the nearest movie theater, since we sold our house in my hometown. So, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
But maybe.
Chill.
But Suspiria, dude.
Suspiria. Argento. The
Argento.
master.
Yeah.
He's got really good gore. Likes to pause on it.
Yeah.
You know, knife in.
Yeah.
A lot of those shots.
I'm a huge fan, Suspiria especially, of the lighting in that movie is so good because it's just these stark reds, just like slashes of light. Halloween does it too, but it's a little more realistic. Suspiria, it's just like we're going for it.
Yeah.
Here's a big red slash of light.
Yeah.
So
like
good.
that
And the
more?
soundtrack, like, come on, Goblin. Let's
oh
be
yeah, he's
real.
bummed. He's like, I'm not sure how I feel about Goblin being replaced by Thom Yorke.
Tom York,
Tom
yeah,
Yorke.
Radiohead.
Thom.
Dude, I don't know. Like, I hope Tom York does a good job at it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a brilliant musician, obviously. I just like the one that he released, the two I think that he released so far are like a little soft. You know, like
Yeah.
maybe they're saving the bonkers
Yeah.
stuff for the movie, but
Yeah.
like Goblin out the gate, the music is basically just screaming. It's just like woo.
Yeah.
I've seen OG Suspiria in theaters like 3 times.
Hell
A
yeah.
buddy of mine who runs a thing called Wayward Cinema. If you're in the LA area, come. I think on the October 24th, he's doing a screening of it. Wayward Cinema.
I've never seen it in the theater.
Come with.
should do
Come
it.
with.
I
On
should do it.
The 24th Wednesday.
Definitely.
He's doing a screening of it, man. Suspiria is
The theater
good.
experience.
Yeah. Well, he does it in like cool like warehouse things, but
It's important. I just saw 2001 a little while ago in the theater for
Dude.
the first time, and then Alien had a
Yeah.
showing a few years back.
Yeah.
Saw it for the first time in the theater. It's actually a big deal.
I saw Alien in theaters, in the Biograph, which is the movie theater in Chicago, outside of which Derringer was shot and killed.
Yep.
Now it's a play theater, but
Dillinger.
I saw. What did I say?
Darren.
Oh, Dillinger. Yeah. My phone is going off the hook. But
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Here's a quiz. Shut it down. Shut it down forever. It's just the dog.
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
No. Dark City.
Dark City.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, the hell were we talking about?
We were talking about lighting. I wanted to go back on that
Oh.
really quick. Do you prefer the Suspiria over-the-top lighting, or like you said in Halloween, I think of my favorite lit shot when he's across the street,
Yeah.
on the porch,
Yeah, and the lights
back-
behind him.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
I mean,
Oh.
it depends on the movie, you know? Like, I love a good, like, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, like, choice.
Yeah.
I love that. But, I mean, if you're making a more realistic, like, Get Out style, like, I mean, Get Out has some, I think, kind of cool lighting stuff going on. Obviously, it's a well-shot movie, but it doesn't go too crazy. But, yeah. Yeah, it's all good, man. Movies are great.
Jeremy Ferris, favorite horror film is the 1931 classic Dracula. I always prefer a good monster than anything psychological. People say that what you can't see is scarier than what you can, but I really believe we've lost the art of practical special effects, and horror has suffered the most from it.
Yeah.
Imagine if George A. Romero made his Dead trilogy with CG, then rolling up his sleeves and making monster movie history through some of the all-time great gore. Thoughts?
I 100% agree. Like, so, I mean, the 30s are a great example. Like, yeah, Nosferatu, like, earlier in the 30s, I think. But,
20s,
like, yeah. Freaks, obviously, is really good. There's
All the
a,
Universal.
like, White Zombie, Cat People, all those. There's a movie, it was a little later, but there's a movie called The Mask, which is really cool. It's about a possessed mask. And the gimmick, it was, like, during the 3D
Yeah.
era, but the movie's only 3D when a character is wearing the mask.
So
and
cool.
in the movie, the mask itself like gets into people's heads, and there's a cool. Oh, I love it so much. I want to like sample it, make a song or something. But the voice goes, "Put the mask on now.
Dude.
Like over and over, it just says that, and then a character is like, and it puts the mask on. But that's also the cue to the audience to put on their 3D glasses.
So perfect.
It's so good, and then it's this colorful, like crazy, like
Genius.
nutcase, like well shot, just Wonderland. Oh, that movie is so weird.
Sounds rad.
Yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, practical effects, The Thing. I mean, this happened with The Thing and The Thing remake, which I never saw because I heard it was bad. But
Yes.
that's
CG.
what happens. And like CG is
I don't
not
wanna
bad.
get
I am not
Ian-
against CG.
I don't want to get Ian riled up. Alien Covenant.
Oh,
CG.
yeah. How hard is it to find a super skinny tall guy?
How
Get
hard
Bloodworth
is
in there. Bloodworth would make a great xenomorph.
it? Perfect.
Perfect xenomorph. Daniel
God.
Bloodworth. Ridley. Yeah. Call him up.
That's why I still somewhat appreciate The Walking Dead, because once in a while they'll have some really good practical effects and gore. They just had the new season 9 premiere. Say what you will about the show, whatever. It's obviously not the same show it used to be. But
I've disliked it for a long time.
season 1's classic.
Yeah.
The pilot episode,
Yeah.
Frank
Yeah.
Darabont,
Yeah.
perfection.
And then season 2, like almost immediately, I was like, oh.
yeah. Some good practical effects. It's so
Do
Greg
they
Nick-
ever go CG or is it always mostly practical?
like with the blood and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
There's
yeah,
CG and
Yeah.
but pretty good stuff.
Bad CG blood is bad, but it can be well done. I've seen it well done.
Oh, bad CG blood
Yeah.
offends me.
Yeah.
All right, this is a long one. Fight. While not pure horror, if there is such a thing, I'm having a hard time coming up with a horror movie I love more than Alien.
Hey.
I'm sure this has a lot to do with the fact that sci-fi is my favorite genre, and Alien is also a top-tier sci-fi movie. We're going to get into genres here. But it really nails all the key points of a good horror movie. Realistic, relatable, and likable characters, some of whom have some secrets. A great hero, heroine. Ripley is one of the best.
Oh,
No,
absolutely.
Ripley
The best.
is the best.
Yeah.
The best.
The best.
Period.
Bar none.
Yeah. A scary monster and a great setting with an oppressive, claustrophobic atmosphere. Another element of horror that is important to me, personally, is the sense of mystery or unknown. Thanks, Prometheus. And Alien really excels in that aspect as well. You never learn anything about the crashed ship, thanks, Prometheus, its pilot, or the alien itself, thanks, Alien Covenant.
Did he write this or are you adding it?
I'm adding that.
Oh, okay.
And the film is all the better and scarier for it. Of course, you can't have a horror movie without good kills.
Yeah.
I think the chest burster scene easily earns a place near the top of that list as well. I read about Alien all day. I may add more later, but I think this is a good start.
Alien, again, one of my all-time favorite movies.
all time.
Yeah.
Before we get into Alien, do you think Aliens is a horror film?
Aliens?
Aliens. Do you
I-
think Aliens is horror?
I think Aliens is an action film.
Okay.
I mean, action horror, it's an action sci-fi, like 9 ellipses, and then a horror.
At the very
yeah. Yeah. Action, like all the tags would be like action, sci-fi,
Adventure,
female protagonist, thriller, suspense,
yeah.
mystery, corporate espionage. But yeah, that's an action movie. But Alien is a probably sci-fi suspense horror movie.
Yeah, it's
What were you gonna say?
No,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say one point that they brought up is I think to me the most important thing about horror movie characters is realistic behavior. What I love about Alien is they are just truckers in space dealing with an issue.
Yep.
Like it doesn't get bogged down even on their own character stories. They just are who they are and they're dealing with this problem in a way that is realistic.
Yeah.
They can't just sit back and do nothing. They have to do something. They come up with a plan and it falls apart. To me, that's scarier because when characters do things that are ridiculous, it's fun and crazy, and you're like, oh, don't go up there, like dumb idiot. Like
it takes me out of it.
It takes you out of it. I mean, like there is partly kind of I think a fun, because like Sophia was saying that she read this thing one time that was like, some people think that in horror you need the characters to do dumb things because then you as the audience can feel like, okay, I'm smarter than that. I would survive this, you know?
Okay, I get it.
Like,
yeah.
and I'm like, okay, that's a cool theory. Like, I could see that as like an escapism sort of thing.
Yeah.
But to me, like the true terror is when the character is like, yeah, no, that's probably what I would have done too.
Yeah.
And then they still get hosed.
Yep.
Like Get Out is a great example of that because I think it has both of those elements where it's like within the movie it has a guy saying like, what are you, crazy? Don't do that.
Yeah.
And a character doing the things that you would probably do in that scenario.
Like, time to go. Get the keys.
Yeah, like
let's
get the
go.
keys. Let's get out of here. Come
Yeah.
on. Oh shit.
Love that.
It's so good. But yeah, Alien is the same. They all do realistic things for that scenario.
Yeah.
And it's so much more terrifying then.
I want to talk about the xenomorph.
Yeah.
I admire its purity.
So do I.
And I also want to talk about Ash.
Yeah.
And how much do you think Ash brings to the table in Alien? Do you think Alien would do you think the xenomorph itself would still be as terrifying on its own? Do you think those scenes would still play as well as they do? Or do you think because Ash is another threat,
Well,
it kind of just raises the stakes for the entire movie?
to me, Ash is indicative of one of the greater underlying terrors of the Alien franchise, and that's corporate
rage.
evil. Yeah, corporate greed, corporate evil. And like he's an arm working for Weyland Yutani, and like
Working for Guy Pearce.
yeah. Oh, thanks, Prometheus. But and to me that's the scariest thing because like when she goes in and sees Mother and it says crew expendable on the computer or whatever, she sees that, right? Not Dallas, whatever. That to me is like maybe even scarier because it's just like, oh, that's that.
It's like the alien's the wild card in
The
whole
alien
thing.
is just a perfect killing machine
Yeah.
doing its thing, trapped in a weird scenario. It's like an animal freaking out, kind
Yeah.
of. I mean, it's calculating and cold and murderous, but it's also just like backed into a corner and it's gonna pounce, you know?
And it's hungry.
And the corporation. Well, that's the cool thing about the xenomorph. You never really know if it's killing for
Yeah, is
sport
it
or
eating?
eating. Yeah, it's or laying its egg. I mean, it's
Yeah.
procreation, I guess,
Yeah.
depending on which cut you watch. But
Yeah.
the corporation is just pure evil, and it's only after its own interests, like monetizing this thing for weapons research. And it's like crazy because, like, it's never really clear if the corporation already knows about xenomorphs and is like intentionally putting people in harm's way to
We
try to
need
get a
Prometheus 3
specimen.
to answer these
Yeah,
questions,
yeah,
really.
we really do.
We're not bitter about it.
Oh God, old people and their Jesus narratives. No one cares anymore, Ridley. It's over.
The director's cut, though, you were talking about, like, which cut you watch, Procreation,
Yeah.
you know, cocooning Dallas.
Classic kill me line.
Classic. I love,
I know you love a good kill me.
just take me out.
Yeah.
We're past the point of survival or anything and put me out of my misery.
Yeah. Can you imagine being in that mental state where you're like, death would be better than what's going to happen to me? That's so intense. What happened?
Poked my eyeball on the microphone. I'm good. I'm all right.
He's all right. He's all right. You okay?
Yeah, getting hyped on xenomorphs. I'll tell you one thing Alien does not have that Aliens does.
Hicks.
Vasquez.
Yeah.
The Queen Alien.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite image from any movie, any video game of all time is Ripley with Newt
Backing,
and
yeah.
just staring
Yep.
up at the Queen
I knew
Alien.
it.
That
I knew it
wa-
immediately. I was like, I saw it in my
Yeah.
mind before I even said anything. Yeah.
That image made me who I am today. Watching that in my youth, I was like, yep, this is it. This is what I love. Fell in love with horror ever since.
That's why I think Ripley is such an amazing role model, and character, because, like, I mean, obviously she's this total badass. She's really smart. She's always dealing with her situations, but she's also like still a woman, you know?
Yeah.
But it's never really like, it's not ever made a thing. It's just
Yeah.
like, here's this person.
Exactly.
She's doing what she's gonna do, and she's pissed, and she's gonna take these bastards down. Like when she goes back to New. That's the weirdest thing with Alien, because like I think some of the cuts in the director that they took out for the theatrical, like the super extended long turret gun sequence. I'm like, this
In
is too
Aliens?
long. In Aliens,
Yeah.
that's too long. But the weirdest thing that they cut out was her daughter stuff. Because it's like this weird,
Yeah.
it's like very important through line for her and Newt.
Yeah.
And kind of just a cool sci-fi thing where it's like, you've been floating in space for 53 years.
Your daughter has outlived
daughter-
you and died of old age.
Yeah, died of old age. Like that's just the kind of cool sci-fi stuff I eat up.
Yeah.
3 Body Problem, by the way. So crazy. I'm on the 3rd book of that right now. My God. But yeah, and I'm that's a bummer of a cut that they took that out. I've
Yeah.
always loved that storyline personally. But
Yep.
yeah, Ripley is so badass, and that image just encapsulates everything. She's got Newt. She's got this gun, and then when when the egg opens,
She's like,
the look
"All
that
right."
she does at the queen, she's just like, "You
Yeah.
messed up.
Yep.
Like you bitch."
You're done.
And then she just fries everything.
So-
That look
Culmination.
she does is
Culmination.
Sigourney Weaver, dude. Saint Sigourney.
Coming back in Avatar 2.
She's in that?
Yep.
Wait, was she the bad guy in one?
No, she was like the Dr. Grace Augustine. She was like the
I love Sigourney
helper
Weaver.
of the. She was like the mediary of the Na'vi and the humans
Oh,
and
right.
the
okay, yeah,
scientists.
yeah.
Like,
I can't remember. I can't remember if she turned bad or not.
she,
Oh,
but she's in Avatar 2.
huh.
Sci-fi.
Flashbacks.
You're never dead.
I hear.
Stephen Lang's back too. He died.
Oh, really?
He's back.
I hear that the Avatar land at Disney World Animal Kingdom is like amazing.
Yeah, like the reason those movies are taking so long was probably because James Cameron took like 2 years off to like develop
Yeah.
that land. He was extremely hands-on.
Yeah.
This is not just some corporate like, oh, let's just Avatar, cool, let's just adapt that, make it. No, he like helped build it.
My friends, Pam and Chris, were there. They fast passed one of the rides, went on it, and then immediately walked off, got in the 3-hour line, and did it again. And they were like, totally worth it.
Sick.
So apparently, I'm
my
going in
God.
like December. I'm really excited.
Oh, I'm jealous. Film it. Are you allowed to film there?
No, they don't like that.
Dang it.
I mean, I think you can like do videos on your phone or whatever, but like
Yeah.
I don't think you can film inside a ride. They frown upon that.
That'd be a great easy update.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
I
gonna
would
do
love
it.
that. All right, next up, Rooster Box. This one's for you, Ian. What is your favorite horror film? Definitely The Thing.
Yeah, baby.
The
Rooster
acting
Box.
from every person in it, even the half wolf dog Jed, is note perfect, and the paranoid atmosphere is second to none. The jump scares still get me,
Yeah.
even though I've seen this movie many times over the years. Ian, you don't like jump scares.
I don't love them.
How do you handle The Thing?
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
I'm a thing. To me, there's a difference between a jump scare and a jump scare.
Yeah.
Like movies like Drag Me to Hell or newer like shock horror, whatever. I don't like those because they're like annoying jump
When
scares.
the volume is 6
Right.
and then the jump scare
And then
is
it's
like
40.
14.
Yeah. And it's just like that kind of like exploitation of audience of human physiological responses just makes me annoyed. Whereas jump scares in movies like The Thing or The Witch or whatever, where it's like, sure, maybe it's just or even Alien, where it's like, oh, it's a cat, like
Yeah.
it was a fake out. Those I still like because I don't know, they're done with respect. You know, like
Absolutely.
respectful jump scares I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Exploitative, like cheap jump scares,
Yeah.
I get mad.
I know what you mean, because there are levels of jump scares.
Yeah.
There are like the volume 50 ones.
Yeah, and like that don't even make any like Drag Me to Hell. I got so like worked up just because of the like jump scares. Like there's a jump scare in that where a napkin is blowing by a car and then it just goes like this, and the music just goes for no reason.
Or
And I'm just like, what?
or when a jump scare, like you fly out of your seat, but the character on screen is just like, huh,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're fine. They're
Yeah.
the one in the situation,
Right.
and it's not even freaking
Because
them out.
they didn't hear the 900 cellos going.
Exactly.
Like
So good.
in Halloween has a really weird one in the very very beginning when the sister and boyfriend, when the light turns off and all of a sudden the music just goes. I'm like, they just turned off the light. What?
Yeah.
What's happening? Like that was so weird.
Another weird shot was when like Michael was hijacking the car, and he
Yeah.
was like on the roof, and his like hand came
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, this is like
And it like cut, and you can obviously see the breakaway glass change.
Yeah.
Is so funny. Oh
was
man,
weird.
it's so quaint. I love it.
All right, running out of time. We got like
We're
not
on
even-
page 2.
not even close. Didn't want to talk about this because this is you know I love Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
More specifically, Stephen Beaumont, the Tommy Jarvis trilogy. That would be Friday the 13th, 4, 5, and 6.
Wow. Okay.
Corey Feldman is young Tommy Jarvis in 4. Track him all the way through. He obviously goes away, but then, new actors.
Right.
But then Friday the 13th, part 6.
So wait, who's Tommy Jarvis?
So Tommy Jarvis.
I know this name, but I don't remember who.
He's the one who he's like Jason Voorhees' rival, dude. The
Okay.
only person who like goes through multiple films and gets one up on Jason.
Doesn't die.
Yeah, takes him down.
Final boy.
Yeah, pretty much. It is great to see schlock horror can have through lines, and this particular story deals with PTSD, which is actually pretty groundbreaking. Dude, Corey Feldman in these movies, or in the part 4, like, die, and he keeps having like nightmares about it because at the end of Friday the 13th, part 4, machete just hacking away at Jason, dude. Just die, like traumatized ever since.
Yeah.
And then, it comes back in 6. He's like dealing with the fallout of Jason. Like, that's when it gets really supernatural. Part 6, like Jason comes back, like zombie Jason.
Yeah.
But part 6 is my favorite.
Is that Jason Goes to Hell?
That's number 9.
Oh, okay, way off.
6 is Jason Lives.
Oh, okay.
It's got the best kills. It's
Nice.
really good.
Which one's Jason Goes to Space?
10.
Jason X.
Jason X has arguably the greatest kill ever when he dumps the head in liquid nitrogen and then like picks it up and then smashes the head on the counter and the head just goes everywhere.
Oh man.
Really good kill. Look that one up. It's top tier. Jason X cryo kill.
Cryo kill.
The Birds. Underrated.
Oh yeah.
Underrated. I don't think Hitchcock can be
Universally loved.
I guess
Underrated for
underrated
Hitchcock.
for our generation.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Oh sure.
Which is kind of sad. Like there'll be a day when you talk to. I bet a lot of people watching have not really seen some Hitchcock.
Yeah.
No, I trust.
The
our
Birds is
viewers.
actually one of the few I
trust you.
haven't seen.
Really?
I love Hitchcock, and I haven't seen The Birds entirely. We watched like chunks of it in film school,
Dude.
so that's why I was like, because we watched all the like hits, So
Yeah.
then I like just didn't get around to watching the full. But I mean, like Psycho, Vertigo.
Yeah.
Psycho's a jump scare that still gets me when the mom runs out at the top of the stairs. It gets me every time.
Yeah.
Because the timing of it is so weird.
Yeah.
No matter how many times I've seen that movie, I can never predict when it's gonna happen. Oh,
How do you think
so
he did that?
good.
I wonder. I bet you can find out.
Just
It's kind of like a stopwatch. Or
innate
something.
genius. Yeah. He had some kind of algorithm that told him like the scariest number of seconds to wait. It's like you have to wait here because they've given up hope, or they're not afraid anymore, and then you smash them in the face with it.
This line though, The Birds, underrated and amazing in its determination to unnerve you without music as a crutch.
Oh yeah.
We've been talking about music here, especially the Halloween theme, which is a big part of the tension in that movie.
Oh, I would argue almost all of it.
Yeah. But like horror movies that just are quiet through, A Quiet Place just came out.
Dude,
A lot of moments of silence
very
in that
good.
movie.
Very good.
Excellent. Saw 1.
Yeah.
Tight. Visceral. That's all he says about it.
Saw One is good, dude. I like Saw One.
Well-written Nightmare on Elm Street, having done half psych in high school. The film makes me smile with how much is pulled straight from the textbook. Very great premise, and the use of latex in the bedroom dream scene is absolutely amazing practical effect that would look absolutely hideous if it was ever done CGI. We have not talked about another icon of
Freddy.
horror. Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Like, deplorable creep any way you slice it.
Yep.
Like,
Just a freako.
as evil and as bad of a person as you could possibly imagine,
Yeah.
but he's an icon.
Yeah.
We love him. but I like Jason more, but still, like, he's got a following.
Yeah.
He is a icon of a genre.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone knows his name. He's guest starring in Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah.
Like, why, Ian? Why is this? Why do we end up rooting for Freddy Krueger?
I think, the core premise, I think, is one of the scarier things to me. Because to me, one of the chief horrors in my life, right, is the fear of not being able to get sleep, not being able to fall asleep, because you're helpless, and it's the only thing you need to stay like sane. So the idea of a killer that can only get you in your sleep, is so scary, and that classic idea of like manifesting your own greatest fears and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like Event Horizon level stuff, like. That's just the two scariest things.
Yeah. And he's
becoming
got
a
that
nightmare.
power.
Yeah.
It's like it's
just
an infatuation with his powers.
Yeah.
Zachary Walton. I've been catching up on some horror essentials this year, and I was a giant scaredy cat growing up. I started with A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'm honestly hooked. I was reading somewhere that at the time, Freddy was so impactful because he was the first slasher who spoke and had a personality beyond just stab, stab, kill, kill.
That's interesting.
I think it really helps a lot to have a killer that voices how they feel, because in a weird way, you start to root for them. Still don't know how to feel about that one. Also, can we talk about how great the ending of the first Nightmare on Elm Street is for doing Home Alone before Kevin McAllister ever held a paint can?
I don't remember the end of
Chris LaRue comments, agreed 100% on Freddy. Slashers are great in that over time you begin to root for the bad guy. Like, you want the good guys to escape, but there's also a lot of fun in the villain succeeding. Freddy's personality just amplifies that love tenfold. So is it just charisma? Yeah, I mean, he's a charismatic bastard.
That's the thing about him, is he's like kind of funny.
Yeah.
He like makes jokes.
Yeah.
Which you don't often get. Like Mike Myers, not cracking wise.
No. Jason Voorhees
hasn't spoken
all
in 15
business.
years. Yeah, like, yeah. Also,
Freddy
he
versus Jason,
moves
underrated.
quickly. Oh, Freddy versus Jason was fun. I saw that in
Love
theaters.
it.
I remember that. This makes me think about, weirdly likable, but also so gross. The Cenobites, dude. Hellraiser, Pinhead.
So I am so unfamiliar with like the lore of Hellraiser.
Oh, okay.
I've seen Hellraiser all the way through.
Just the first
fully,
movie?
just the first movie.
Dude, Hellraiser's 2 and 3, I think. It's like most of these franchises where there's like
Go
a
off the
billion
deep
of
end.
them. And like some of them get really weird later, but the first, I think 2, maybe the first 3 are super crazy. I think 2 and 3 are the best ones for like weird freaky hell stuff.
Cool.
Because the crazy thing with Hellraiser is there's like kind of there's like a pseudo deal with the devil kind of vibe where it's like if you pick up the puzzle box, you're sort of asking for it, whether or not you know that you are. That gets a little touchy, but some people knowingly are like invoking this power.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I really like The Ninth Gate too, even though that movie's not very good, but it has some crazy stuff in it. But Hellraiser, there's something so unsettling and gross about it. But Pinhead is just, it's weird because
Icon.
he's like lawful evil. He like follows the rules, and that makes him even scarier because it's like, hey, you invited us.
Yeah.
And then like no amount of you being like, no. He's like, them's the breaks, man.
Yeah.
You picked up that box. It's really freaky.
Don't you get kind of
no
annoyed?
nonsense.
Don't you get annoyed when a psycho is just a psycho for no reason? Is it kind of annoying? You're just
rarely,
like, go away. Like you.
It's
at
one
least,
of those things that when it works great. I mean, like the Joker.
Yeah.
But when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's like you're just trying way too hard to be cool.
I was on something and I lost it. Moving on. Lost
Personable,
it. Lost
friendly
the thought.
jokes, charisma.
Lost the thought. We're running out of time here.
Lightning round, go.
Lightning round.
Get them up. We didn't even get through. We got through the first
question. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Talking about people's favorite things and then just talking about that. What is your favorite genre within horror?
Ooh.
Ken Reels. For me, the best horror movies always have some heart to them, which is why I love films like Mama and Lights Out. And if you can't already tell, I'm a big fan of supernatural / ghost story type horror films. That or demon possession films, and the king of them will always be The Exorcist. The movie still scares me to this day. I'm also looking forward to returning to A Quiet Place in the future to see if it can really top Exorcist as one of my favorites of all time. What do you guys think has the most potential to be a modern classic for years to come?
Modern classics for sure.
Hereditary, dude.
I'm gearing up to watch that one. I think I'm gonna watch it when I'm back from vacation.
Yeah.
Get Out, I think, will stand the test of time.
Oh, absolutely.
I think A Quiet Place will. The Witch, maybe. Mm-hmm. Hereditary, I've heard nothing but amazing things. I haven't seen it.
The Wailing.
Dude, I was watching trailers for that the other day.
Nice.
The trailers are so weird because it's like a 90s style trailer almost. Like an early 2000, right? And like it doesn't really betray anything supernatural except there are like 2 or 3 shots where you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, The Wailing, dude, seems weird. Is it scary?
Good.
Is it like really? Yeah.
It gets pretty freaky. Yeah.
Haven't seen the new It yet.
Oh,
It, dude.
It's gonna hold up.
It was one of those ones when I was a kid. I saw the original It.
Yeah.
And the second half of the original It is like basically terrible, but like the first half, some of that stuff in that sticks with me like to this day. Like going upstairs, I like look behind myself, passing sewer grates. You always see Pennywise in there.
Yeah, get away.
In big empty like shower rooms, I'm just like looking around. I'm like, these are all gonna turn on any second. It just got in. It's hooks in, man. Same with Event Horizon, but
what's your favorite horror genre?
Oh man. I guess like psychological horror.
Yeah.
Your Hellraisers, your Jacob's Ladders, your Get Out. Well, Get Out's not really, but I don't know. Good is that's a cop out, but
no, I feel it.
Psychological. What's yours? Slasher?
Psychological. It's hard because psychological overall is my favorite.
Yeah.
Slasher because I love Friday the 13th. But also body horror because of Cronenberg's entire filmography.
Yeah.
Like,
God,
love
they're all,
some body horror.
Yeah, I guess I have favorites within every subgenre. The ghost and demon possession stuff actually.
And that. I love demons.
Those are the ones that freak me out the most.
Me too.
Because like with a ghost, what do you do? There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Like. Demons are something I can really get behind. You know what I mean? Like I can really
put that on a mug.
like okay, demons probably don't exist.
Sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
Don't exist.
That's
There's still a part in the back of my mind that's like can't explain. It's like explaining the cosmos, you know?
Right.
You don't have all the answers. Like maybe, I don't know.
And I mean I think there's something that's what successful horror does, right? It just taps into these innate human fears. Mm-hmm. That's why I like psychological horror and like, I mean, cosmic horror is my favorite horror genre, but there are sadly, shockingly few examples of cosmic horror in film. Mm-hmm. Certainly a few great ones. But the kind of psychological horror, cosmic horror, when you can't trust your own senses, that's really big for me. I like that. That's really unsettling. But also ghost stuff, demon stuff, that kind of just like nameless, unknowable evil lurking out there is just a human fear.
Because it has to do with religion so much, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's tied so much to religion, and you think about how big religion is in the world and how many people believe in it, and it's like, well, if they believe that, you kind of have to believe in...
Right,
like demonology and you know,
because if this side of the coin is real, then this side of the coin might be real too, guys. Like,
so I just love that the mythology surrounding demons, epic. Natalie, the best horror films tap into our most primal fears.
Yeah.
I knew you'd love that. The masked killer, the dead coming back to life to eat us, bite us, haunt us. That being said, horror has often been healing for me personally.
Oh.
My mom died 10 years ago after being in a coma/vegetative state for almost a year. And after she passed, horror was one of the few film genres that really helped me feel better. As messed up as that sounds. You know, people say we're messed up because we call it cozy. Maybe the thought of a ghost when you're missing someone you love isn't so horrible. Or it could be that seeing people go through terrifying pain and anguish, but still survive, was what I needed to know that I could survive. Horror and loss definitely go hand in hand. Some great examples of this are The Babadook, The Others, Don't Look Now, The
Look Now is
Descent.
so good.
Hell yeah. And most recently, Hereditary.
Uh-oh.
I would also like to give a shout out to Scream. I watched it recently, and in my opinion, it does not hold up, but it was my intro into Wes Craven, who is my gateway to all other horror. Thank you for sharing that, Natalie.
Yeah.
Chris LaRue also chimes in. I never thought about it until now, but I think I was the same. After my father died, I took an interest in campy horror, going through a franchise a week. Actually, the last movie I watched with my father was Freddy vs. Jason, which he took me to go see a few days before his death. It's curious that I never made the connection.
Man.
Yeah, you know, again, thank you for sharing that. It's like my wife always calls me out for when I'm really depressed watching really depressing movies.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, why do you do that? And for me, you know, Natalie kind of pretty much nailed it of watching people go through it and survive is hopeful.
When I was suffering from chronic depression for a decade when I was younger, I would watch As Good as It Gets on like loop because, you know, you feel seen. You're just like, these people are horribly depressed and they're not dead.
Yeah.
And you just want to see that. And I think, horror has the same kind of thing. Part of that, I think about The Haunting, where that lady who's looked the same for 100 years and plays that character in every movie, when she realizes that, like, spoiler alert, The Haunting, that the little kid ghosts are trying to help her, not scare her.
Yep.
I always like that kind of a twist in a ghost story where it's like, oh, there's a good ghost and some bad ghosts.
Yeah.
Like, there are good forces here and bad forces. Yeah, and like, again, American Horror Story Season 1 and like other classic ghost stories like that where it's like, oh, it's more complicated than just one bad ghost.
Yeah.
I really like that. I really like that aspect of it.
Sometimes horror can border on absurd. How are the most successful films able to ride that line to terrifying results? Evil Dead is absurd.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't get enough. The charming low-budget original that leaned into that kind of slapstick horror with the sequels. I feel like no horror movie has pulled it off the way Evil Dead has. Ash is an iconic protagonist, who on pen and paper is kind of a sleazy, selfish, hateable guy, but I love it. Even in the series Ash vs. Evil Dead. Probably one of the most, like, you know, we're talking about the villains and these horror icons, you know, being the villains.
Yeah.
He's a hero.
Yeah.
And an icon.
Yeah.
Like, one of the few.
I like Army of Darkness a lot.
Yeah.
A recent, not super recent, but more recent example of a movie of that kind of ilk is Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Have you seen that?
I have not.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more like Cabin in the Woods, dude.
Cabin in the Woods.
But it's more like Cabin in the Woods, kind of like comedy horror.
Yeah.
Sort of, but it's really funny.
All right. We're on the last page. Skipping through.
Because you just skipped 4 pages.
Yeah. We have to end on this. Cabin
Hey, man,
in
I'm
the
having a
Woods.
blast, by the way.
Good. Me too. Getting real in here about horror. What is your all-time favorite kill from a horror movie?
Oh,
Morgan Mahala. My favorite kill from a horror movie is the elevator scene from Cabin in the Woods. Pure chaos. It is so good.
so that means that entire scene, right? Where just everything is going off? Yeah.
It's like, 'cause, you know, we didn't produce that or whatever, and it's so Buffy. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
it gives me the most Buffy
Oh, I
vibes.
thought you said we didn't produce that.
Oh.
And I'm like, I don't think anyone assumed that we produced that. We didn't, yeah.
Yeah. Cabin in the Woods. Absolutely love it. Here's another good one. John White. My all-time favorite killing is an easy one. Jason Voorhees. By the way, shout out to Jason Voorhees for being unquestionably the master of the kill.
Oh.
He's got the highest body count and rarely any dupes.
Oh. That's true.
Likes to
Mike
get
Myers
creative.
just stabs everyone.
But what is more unsettling than a stab and a choke?
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing really.
Often at the same time with Mike Myers. Choking you from the back seat, stabbing you.
Yeah.
There's a simplicity to it.
Yeah.
A beautiful simplicity.
It is. It's an art. It's an art form. Jason Voorhees decapitating Julius on the roof in Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. The absurdity of the scene is a perfect microcosm of the movie, which is why I love it so dearly. Julius, thinly painted as a successful high school boxer, thinks he can simply box Jason off the roof to safety. He punches repeatedly, slowly, knocking Jason backwards, one step at a time. Just as Jason reaches the edge of the roof, he finally stops toying with Julius, who has nearly collapsed from exhaustion. With his last breath, Julius gasps the seminal line, "Take your best shot, mother effer." One swing from Jason is enough to knock off Julius's head, which then rolls down the fire escape and into an open dumpster with the lid closing for effect. It even features decapicam. Great. Did you make that word up? Because that's a keeper.
It's very good.
It even features decapicam view from the severed head as it flies through the sky. I absolutely
Oh, that's so good.
I absolutely love campy horror movies, but Part 8 is resting comfortably in the Hall of Fame, and I'm unsure if it can ever be topped.
I like I'm reminded of chainsaw kills, kind of again on what I was saying earlier with the blood flying in the face.
Yeah.
But in American Psycho, when he like lines up the shot with the chainsaw and then drops it down the flight of stairs at that woman.
Yes.
There's something just like cold, calculated torture.
Yeah.
Is so intense in movies.
Yeah.
I think that's why the Hellraiser series is so unsettling, because it's just like it makes you feel like unsettled, gross.
Yeah.
Saw as well. I think people like that kind of torture porn stuff, but
Torture porn. There's another genre. Yep.
yeah, not a favorite.
No. Yeah, just saw one.
Yeah,
Saw
I think I saw
one.
2 also. Then I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Like 1 felt like it had like, I don't know. Apparently the story gets bonkers, but
Yeah. But and one is James Wan.
Did you ever see High Tension?
Yeah.
Never before have I loved the first 80% of a movie and then outright despised the second or that last part,
last
just
bit.
because the twist is so nonsensical.
Mm-hmm.
It blows my mind.
What about, though, underrated, before we wrap this up, I don't hear a lot of people talk about it lately. They just came out with a sequel. It took way too long to come. It came and went, flopped. To me, it's one of the all-time greats. Really. The Strangers.
Dude.
The Strangers.
The Strangers 1 is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Because it's so realistic.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's
I
so,
can't watch it.
yeah.
It freaks me out so much.
It's so intense.
God.
I watched it in Chicago with my roommate at the time, who's one of my best friends, known him since we were like 4.
Yeah.
And we were watching it the whole time, and we were both just like this,
Yeah.
and we both just kept repeating, "Why did we do this? Why did we start watching this?"
Yeah.
But like we couldn't look away.
Yeah. The use of sound,
Yeah.
banging off screen,
Yeah.
just hearing bangings.
Also, like really good, kind of Halloween inspired, where the dude in the mask, when she's like looking this way, and then he's just behind her for a second, and then like walks away.
Yeah.
Just like could take the shot. Also mistake kills by the heroes. Legendary in that movie.
Love a good
Legendary.
mistake kill, dude.
Mistaken kill.
Yes.
Also one of the greatest final lines of a horror movie
forget it.
in history.
I forget.
Strangers spoilers coming up here, but at the very end, Liv Tyler, right?
Yeah.
Liv Tyler is like, she just goes, "Why? Why are you doing this?" And then one of the like baby doll, Cupid doll one just says, "Because you were home."
Yep.
And I'm just like,
So messed up.
yeah, that kind of
that
stuff
true
in horror,
crime shit,
right?
dude.
Where it's just like no reason,
no reason.
just cause. Like that's the freakiest stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, just cause.
The Strangers.
No reason, because you were home.
All right. We're a little over time.
Got to do a quote challenge.
Gotta do a quote challenge.
I prepared one for you.
Did you?
Yeah, I got to get my phone.
If there's any others. Horror, though, I think we really got into it.
Yeah.
I love it. Just, that it's cathartic.
Yeah.
For many of you out there, for personal reasons, and there's so much to love about it. The love of being scared, the love of the craft, of the gore, of just the visuals of some of these scenes and some of these psychos, like, Michael Myers just standing backlit. There's just something so powerful about that, that just stays with you. And
like, I used to, at an old job, I used to technical direct, like run the switcher on a show, This Week in Horror, and my friend Elric Kane hosted. I think now it's called Inside Horror, maybe, or the name has changed. It's a different company that runs all of it. But I had the huge fortune of meeting like some of the huge names in horror. I met like Jeffrey Combs, who's in Reanimator, and I met what's his name, Vincelli, the guy who
Vincenzo
directed
Natali,
who directed Cube and Splice. I think I met Roger Corman. And it was such an amazing experience because across the board, having known, or briefly met, not known, but like knowing a few friends who are huge, like big into horror and in the horror movie scene. Yeah. The crazy, there's a connective thread between all of them, and it's that horror people, in my experience, are some of the nicest people I've ever met. Just so nice. It's like you made a movie where a severed head is talking on a table. Yeah. You made a movie where like someone's eating someone else's guts for 40 minutes or whatever. Yeah. And like, you're the nicest person I have ever encountered. Yeah. And it's so funny because I think, there is this catharsis, this release, and like, it's kind of a weirdly healthy way to deal with trauma and life issues, I think.
Oh, there was a comment that said that same thing where it's like, I've been lucky and privileged enough to live a nice, cozy life, and horror is where I can enjoy these things from a safe place.
I think there is something human about that. Like you need that kind of release or something that I don't know. That's weird
to experience it in a way. We would be. We're wrapping it up, I swear, but we would be in trouble if we came out of this without mentioning Hannibal Lecter.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
How did we go this far?
I know.
How did we go this far?
I know.
Oh my God! Silence of the Lambs.
I know. And the TV
series,
show.
the TV show Hannibal. To this day, watch Hannibal. To this day, the most unsettling thing I think I've ever seen. And it was on NBC. Network television series, the most gruesome thing I've ever seen.
I never look away in horror, ever. At most, I'll have my hood and kind of do this. Mm-hmm. There's a scene.
Really? That makes me comforted.
Yeah.
The hearing of you even scared at all. I'm like, oh.
Like, Strangers is just this.
I thought you were, like, unassailable.
No.
You're always like, oh, go see this horror movie.
Like, Hereditary the entire time.
Oh, my God.
There was a scene in Hannibal, NBC.
Yeah.
Like in nighttime television.
Yeah.
That I looked away.
Oh yeah.
It had to do with mushrooms.
Oh right, I remember that.
Yeah.
One.
I was like, nope.
What the Colombian necktie or whatever? That was pretty intense in that. Yeah, dude. And you know what I think does it? Because Hannibal is such a gourmand, whatever. They shoot the body parts like food.
I know.
They try to make the audience desire gore like food.
Yep.
And it is
repulsive.
So repulsive.
It
makes you feel disgusting as a human being watching that show. It is repugnant in the best ways.
And I mean, we could have an entire hour discussion on his character alone. We're Lord. Talking about
also love Mads. I mean, I love Anthony Hopkins and Mads.
Yeah,
a couple of the greats there.
Like killing people because they're rude might be the best motivation of a killer in
lawful
movies.
Evil.
Yeah,
lawful evil follows his code of conduct. And like almost supernaturally unbeatable. Kinda like just gets away with it, escapes all the time. Yeah, genius.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So good. Hopefully, there's been rumblings that it's coming back.
Yeah.
Again, if you're concerned you haven't watched Hannibal because it got canceled, I still feel like
it ends well.
I still feel like it does end well. Obviously, they were supposed to do more.
And
that
I think
didn't
they
happen.
still might.
It still might happen, a movie or some kind of closure. But even if that never
I
happens,
think there was something with the rights that like had a certain amount of time to revert to somebody, or I don't know. But it's been there have been rumblings. Netflix, somebody,
One
who knows?
can hope.
Come on, finish it off.
Yeah. So, I had to give a shout out.
Shout out, Hannibal. Okay, I got a good one for you.
Okay,
Quote challenge. You ready?
I'm ready.
I hate a guy with a car and no sense of humor.
Halloween.
Yeah. I wrote, like when earlier today I saw that line, I'm like, what? I was like, that is the weirdest thing to say.
Creeping.
Yeah.
Dude.
Because she's like, speed kills, and then he stops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when I was watching that too, maybe you know, is that the first time in a horror movie when the killer is driving away in the car and then just stops
Oh.
and then continues on? Because that is unnerving, dude.
Oh, well, it doesn't continue on, but Get Out.
Get Out.
At the beginning.
Yep.
When the car just stops.
Zodiac.
Oh, God.
Disturbing.
Oh, Zodiac.
Just like parks, drives away, like
Zodiac,
that
like,
stuff.
That's the weird thing about horror movies, because like ghosts and stuff and freaky, that kind of stuff, besides The Strangers and a few other exceptions, like normally the realistic stuff, serial killers and that stuff, isn't as scary to me, which is weird because it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
Because it's the things that can happen. And like as I get older, I think it does scare me more. I mean, Room is like one of the scariest movies ever just because it's so real. But that kind of stuff, yeah. But Zodiac, I think, has that weird. It's like a confluence of real crime, but also because it was unsolved, it almost does give it this kind of supernatural, mythical quality to it, which makes it even more unsettling. Yeah. Plus, Fincher is just so good.
Yeah.
But anyway, do you have a quote for me?
I admire its purity. No, that's too easy.
Alien.
I can't, man. I can't think of these on the spot. It's funny because I'm always asking you and the other allies like movie quotes.
Yeah, and then on the spot.
They fly in, man. It's like a super highway.
Oh, yeah. That's all right.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I was.
Oh, you did great, by the way.
was
Thank you
hard.
for guest hosting. I mean, we always co-host it, but
Yeah.
lead
Yes.
co.
Yes. I thought it was very fun. Horror movies, October 19th.
Yeah, Halloween comes
Halloween.
early this year.
I'm really hoping this is the one. We've been pretty spoiled this year with A Quiet Place and Hereditary.
Yeah.
To me, those are two top tier,
Yeah.
absolute top tier modern horror films. I really, really, really want Halloween to be in that category. I want it to be legendary. It's getting great reviews.
Yeah, everyone's loving it so far?
Great buzz.
Yeah.
Love his new mask.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Plus just Jamie Lee Curtis, dude.
deteriorated.
She seems so cool.
Yeah. And the entire way, rambling. The entire way that this production went down. It's amazing. He's OG Michael Myers back.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Sick.
Dropping teeth.
Ugh.
Teeth down.
Ugh.
You're one of us now, Michael. There it is. What's that from?
Halloween 2?
You're one of us now.
I don't know.
You're one of us now, Michael. We didn't talk about it, dude. We didn't even talk about that entire genre. That's how prolific horror is. Vampires.
Oh, God.
Lost Boys.
Oh, Lost Boys. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Lost Boys.
You're one of us now, Michael. Yeah, dude.
Vampires rule, especially a human.
Vampires are great.
A human who wants to be a vampire to live forever.
Yeah.
Love that motivation.
Yeah. You've seen What We Do in the Shadows, right?
You made me watch it, and I thank you for it because that is one of the greats.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
10 out of 10.
I love vampires, dude. Dude,
Interview with the Vampire is one of my favorite looking films.
Yeah. I tried rewatching it, though. Very 90s and cheesy.
Yeah.
Also, like,
Looks so beautiful.
way more homoerotic than I remembered it being.
yeah.
I was like, as a kid, I was like, yeah, vampire's sick. And I'm like, oh, these two boys are in love.
Yeah.
Like, watching it as an adult, I was like, oh.
Anne Rice.
I see it now. Like,
Rice.
oh, how did I miss this when I was a baby kid?
Yeah.
Dude, Brad Pitt And what's his name? You asked the wrong question.
Don't even dare.
Yeah.
Almost kiss,
Yeah.
man. They get
They almost
so
kiss like
close
8
to each
times in
other.
that movie. It's amazing.
I put that on when I was like cutting the podcast or something. And I was like, wait, best part. I like stopped editing. I turn the volume up. Like, it's my favorite scene. I'm out.
Thanks, Brandon.
So good.
We got to shout out.
Shout out.
To my film school screenwriting class.
Yeah.
My screenwriting teacher called out oh my god, John Carpenter, why can't I remember? From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
Called out, that's Carpenter, right? Yeah.
Rodriguez.
Oh, it's Rodriguez. Right. Oh yeah, John Carpenter's Vampires. Not a great movie.
No.
But no, yeah, Rodriguez. From Dusk Till Dawn, my screenwriting teacher called it out and was like, "Never do this." They established all these plot things and then totally abandoned them. Yeah. And then I snapped back with, "Sometimes you walk into the wrong bar." That's life, man.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. I was like, "You are wrong."
Oh, there's one.
Yeah.
How do you respond?
I think they were just like, yeah, something like that. I was like, it's life. Sometimes you walk into the wrong bar and everything that happened before doesn't matter anymore. And they even do that in the movie where Clooney's just like, all right, nobody say I don't believe in vampires because we're dealing with them. They're clearly real.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie's amazing.
Talking about Uneasy Alliance.
Which
I
one?
love when they all group up
yeah.
together.
Oh, and like heroic sacrifices, dude.
Clooney is one of the coolest characters in movies in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
He's so cool.
Yeah.
He's got his like tribal tattoo. Of course he has a revolver because all cool people have revolvers.
And he's like bad, but like his brother is worse, so it makes
way
him seem
worse.
good.
Yeah.
It's like Tarantino in that movie is a freakazoid.
Creep show,
Like
dude.
bad man.
Yeah.
But From Dusk Till Dawn, dude.
From Dusk Till Dawn. My grandma,
Where is this going?
whom I loved very dearly. My grandma was the best. I was like 7, Ian. Okay. My grandma, when I'm 7 years old, bought me the VHS of From Dusk Till Dawn, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah. She used to pick me up from school too. She lived with us. Used to put on From Dusk Till Dawn weekly. Watched it so many times with my grandma.
That is
like
so
the ultimate
funny.
movie with my grandma is the best.
That's like me in Running Man. I watched that all the time when I was a kid for some reason. Like, what?
So good.
A few years back, I showed my sister and her boyfriend From Dusk Till Dawn, and I forbid them from looking into it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see what happened to someone who knew nothing about the movie and just like experienced the twist, you know? And it was pretty funny to watch their reactions. It was pretty good.
All right, everyone.
Anyway.
What's next month?
I don't know. What do you want to do next month?
It's November.
It's Thanksgiving.
Oscar season, maybe? When
I
is
don't
Oscars?
know.
Like January?
Well, they're
I guess
in like
December.
February, I think. But
December
yeah.
should be like
December's the
Oscars.
ramp up. Yeah, when all the bait comes out.
Have we done an episode on that yet? Like Oscar
Oscar bait
films?
movies?
Yeah.
We haven't, I don't think. Like Best Picture winners.
Thirsty.
Thirst.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
When-
Dude, Thirst is a great vampire movie. Anyway.
Anyway,
We'll do something like that. Yeah, that sounds good.
yeah,
Award winners.
that should be December.
Yeah, it's December. But well, that's
November.
Christmas. Christmas is easy. We'll do award winners in December.
see.
November
up
we
with
could do we'll just talk about Addams Family 2. Addams Family Values. It has a Thanksgiving scene in it. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, not a lot of good Thanksgiving movies.
Also, I love the Addams Family with all my heart.
10 out of 10.
Anyway, we'll figure it out.
Did you know that today is 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
October 10th.
You're a 10 out of 10.
October 10th, 10 out of 10. Best day of the year. See you next time.